I dabbled a bit in art when I was like 11 or 12, and everyone draws when they're a kid, but it was never something I really focused on. Coming to Croydon, there was a lot more freedom for an individual to kind of decide where their interests were. Rather than being prescribed work that you need to do, you were given the opportunity to maybe perhaps look at something that's more towards your interest and then fulfill your curriculum around that rather than kind of just by the books. I was dealing with a lot of difficult things in high school, and attending a big picture school allowed me the space and the freedom to work through any large number of personal issues and allowed me to develop in a good environment.
I think the big picture design really suited and worked for Matt because it enabled him to sort of just have one primary focus. I think that's the bottom line for him. He was sort of quite anxious about some things, wanting to do really well, wanting to succeed, had sort of a drive and sort of a really good work ethic, but would get sort of stressed and nervous about doing it to the best of his ability and all that sort of stuff. One of the things I used with Matt at that time as a stress release, and because I love teaching it, was art.
He kind of set me down with art just to kind of get me doing something, and I just kind of stuck with it and decided it was something I wanted to do. It was something I got some meaning and fulfillment out of, so I've just kind of gone on from there.
And it sort of enabled him to sort of really just systematically work through it and find out what it was he wanted to learn in art and how he was going to go about doing it, and just the time to do that.
I'm primarily interested in representational and figurative art. So images that are representing actual things. A lot of it's wanting to just improve and work on it. So the ideal outcome would be really a really strong skills base. That's what I'm looking for at the moment, development of skills from which I can then develop a career or any number of things. Well, this is a still life of a skull. It's done in gouache. We do still lifes to train our eye to be able to kind of see more accurately and then be able to reproduce it. This is a landscape that I did when I was staying down at Phillip Island. It's a seascape, which is obviously quite challenging with the tide moving. It's also very challenging working in the elements. You know, it's very cold, it's windy, but it's really super rewarding and really lots of fun. So I have a number of sketchbooks that I work in regularly, and in them I do a lot of figurative studies, so learning the structure and the anatomy, the real specifics of how the figure is constructed, and then understanding that and then how to apply that to a finished work.
Matt loves sort of trying to perfect the human body, draw the human body in all its possible movements, in all its different sort of positions, perspectives. How is it actually made? How are the muscles connected to the bones? What's the structure? What's the form? It's been wonderful sort of staying in contact with Matt since he left school, and particularly to see that instead of sort of the art dying off or becoming less of a focus, he's actually picked up the pace and is sort of really self-motivated to do more and more, and sort of finding, you know, timetabling it into his life so that he can make sure that he's getting it done.
Yeah, so in the next few months I'm set to move to Sweden to attend the Swedish Academy of Realist Art, which is a traditional fine art school in the... Yeah, it's such a big thing for me. I've been thinking about it for 7 or 8 years now, and you know, living overseas by yourself for the first time out of home. Yeah, it's cool. It's going to be big.